World Stitchers will be published in 2023 by Broken Mill. It was designed by Pepijn van Loon and illustrated by Marlies Badens. Broken Mill provided this in exchange for an honest review. 1 to 4 Spirits of Nature draft and play tiles to make the world, gain energy, and build spires. Take 1 of 3 possible actions on a turn. Increase stamina by spending 2 energy tokens to draft 1 of 3 sky tiles. The drafted tile is added face up to your stamina supply. Expand the world by drafting 1 of the 3 available sky tiles, then stitching it to the central area. When a tile is placed, 1 of its 5 edges must connect to at least 1 central tile. Tiles can't overlap, and land types don't need to match. Once the tile is placed, place an energy token on each space on the new tile, then each matching land type that forms a continuous landscape. No more than 1 energy per space. If an energy is to be placed where there is a spirit, that player immediately gains the energy. Build a spire by spending 8 energy tokens. Take the topmost spire card and place it nearby. This will be worth endgame points. 1 endgame trigger is when player has 3 spires. Continue till everyone has an equal number of turns, then count your points. After completing your action, move your spirit from space to space by flipping matching stamina tiles. Collect energy as you pass and pay 1 energy if passing through an opponent's space. At the end of your turn, flip your stamina face up again and refill the sky if necessary. The other 2 endgame triggers are if a player gains 40 energy or no land tiles remain in the reserve. Score points shown in build spires and 1 for each energy token. The player with the most points wins. To break it down, expand the world, gather energy tokens, and build spires. That's World Stitchers. Our games of World Stitchers, including Setup and Takedown, have averaged about 45 minutes. Unless you're teaching someone, we found the game length didn't change much despite the 3 endgame triggers. The central and player areas grow during the game, but you don't need anything larger than 3 by 3 feet, even with 4 people. Like other draft, place, and adapt games, the inability to plan long-term and suddenness at the end means I don't recommend the 4-player game unless your family or group prefers tactics over strategy. The basic idea could probably be handled by an experienced 6 or 7-year-old gamer, but I worry about the downtime, planning, and weighing of priorities being a bit too much at that age. By 8, I think experienced players can handle the basic game without issues. World Stitchers looks and feels nice thanks to the wood spirits and the cute tile art. I wish there was a token to remind you of your character. This would be helpful if playing with new and or young gamers. I said earlier that I think the game works better with fewer players. Because the actual playtime doesn't change a huge amount, this is still quick-ish to play. Unfortunately, the box isn't as portable as another family-weight tile drafting and tile placement game, King Domino. The insert isn't helpful and the overall box size could have been smaller. All dominoes are random, so your starting hand and available ones will change every game. That's nice for replay value, but it can hurt people who are unable to find a tile they want. The energy and stamina system is the cleverest part of the design. That you have a chance to earn some, even on another turn is nice, but the real trick is the decision on what to do for your action, when to draft or place, and where to move or place. Sewing together bits and bobs of land from the atmosphere is a cool theme. It feels pleasant and relaxing, and the opposite of, say, Cosmic Frog, which feels chaotic and apocalyptic, I guess. These decisions are enhanced by my favorite included module, Area Control. When building a spire, place your matching spirit token. Collect energy if placed in the same space as your spire if your spirit was there. This makes things more interactive because your spire blocks opponents from passing through. It adds more of a puzzle as to where you should place things to allow passage, prevent opponents from gaining energy, and so on. Experienced gamers should always use this. My second favorite module, and another I recommend using unless teaching new players, are objectives. These offer extra ways to gain points, giving you another thing to think about. Connect tiles in a certain way to earn bonus points, or move across all the different terrain types to complete an objective, rather than to collect energy like usual. It adds things to think about more than just maximizing energy collection. The goal module is fine, but not as essential. Unlike something you actively work towards and control, these depend more on luck and game circumstances. Maybe instead of discarding 1 or 2 dealt at the start, keep both and choose 1 of the 2 to score at the end. The power module is another choose 1 of 2 cards, and wow, are these uneven. In one game, Dad had one that let him clear and refresh the sky tiles. All of us were like, that sounds powerful. No. Pretty much useless, actually. There should just be a built-in mechanism to do this. Pay an energy or 2 on your turn. Another underpowered one lets you spend 4 energy to increase your stamina twice. That's half the cost of a spire, and you'll pretty much never win if you don't buy spires. Since later spires decrease in value, why give opponents a chance for extra points? Just save to build spires as fast as possible. World Stitchers is a drafting and tile placement game with set collection and race elements. It has a charming theme and a handful of modules. Unfortunately, the base game on its own is rather boring and lacks the strategic satisfaction of a game like King Domino. I like the energy chains and decisions on what to spend energy on, but the multiplayer solitaire and luck keep it from being truly enjoyable. I recommend anyone who isn't a gaming newcomer always use the area control module. It gives players reason to consider the overall map, their spatial relationship with others, and bumps up interaction a bit. Otherwise, while there are some good ideas, it feels incomplete and bland compared to games like Fields of Green, and has too much downtime to steal the family crowd away from King Domino.